Blizzard just can't seem to stop tweaking Mercy and Junkrat. These heroes have been nerfed again, so here are some tips on how to play their updated versions. My name is Nathan and welcome to Blizzard Guides. So as some of you guys might know, Mercy and Junkrat both received some nerfs on PTR. The changes for Mercy are a bit heavier than Junkrat's, but they will both still require some changes in playstyle. Mercy's nerf is as follows. Mercy no longer resets her res or gets 2 res charges when she uses Valcke, and no longer instantly reses, so it takes a full 1.75 seconds to cast res. That means if you don't have your res when you Valcke, you won't reset the cooldown either. Her ult also only lasts 15 seconds from 20 seconds, and she gets a 50% Guardian Angel movement nerf when Valking. Now, for Junkrat, his nerfs aren't quite as bad. Actually, there's only just one nerf. His concussion mines now have fall-off damage, meaning if you don't throw the mine directly next to the enemy, it won't do full damage. These nerfs are pretty damaging, especially for Mercy, but these heroes are still super viable in my opinion. So, Mercy's playstyle will be drastically changed. Here are some tips on how to play the new Mercy. You don't want to use Valcke before engagements anymore. Valcke is now an on-engagement use ult, so you want to treat it like Zenyatta or Lucio's in the sense that it will be used when your team is taking heavy damage. Since Valcke isn't as powerful as Zen's or Lucio's in terms of healing or damage blocking, you want to use Valcke more so as an escape. Some good examples would be to use Valcke when your team gets shattered, or if perhaps the enemy is committing to a fight but might not have ults up. Valcke charges really fast, so you don't want to wait until the enemy combos Grav and Blade or something like that. That's what your off-heal ults are for. Valcke actually will be really similar in use to Moira's, except for it's much safer for Mercy to use Valcke as opposed to a Moira ulting. Valcke also isn't for resurrecting anymore because Blizzard removed all of the res buffs from Valkyrie. So you don't want to use your ult if you want to go for a res, since that will actually attract more attention than not. Also, remember that Valcke only lasts 15 seconds now, so go for a res before Valking. Unless, let's say, you can't reach your dead ally, in which case if the res is safe, then it would be an okay idea to use Valcke in that situation. Something that still applies with live Mercy, but is more so important with the new Mercy, and I see a lot of Mercy players forget, would be to remember that power boost exists, because it's essentially a mini Orisa ult, being able to power boost and heal entire groups of teammates while Valking. And lastly, remember to utilize the fact that your healing and power beam are insanely long now, meaning you can be really far away while you heal and power boost and you won't take any penalty for it. Overall, the newest Mercy won't be as meta dominating, but she's still a super valuable pick as you still have the option to resurrect every 30 seconds. Just remember to use res as soon as possible since you won't have the option to use Valcke to regain charges anymore. Now for Junkrat. His changes are definitely not as bad as Mercy's, so this list of tips will be much shorter. Barrel stuffing will be a way more important mechanic for Junkrat. For those of you who don't know, barrel stuffing is when you land a direct hit with one of Junkrat's bombs and then follow up with a concussion mine. Since a direct hit does 120 damage, you will only need to do a follow-up of 80 or so damage, meaning the damage fall-off won't be as punishing as would be, per se, landing 2 concussion mines in succession. Barrel stuffing is an awkward thing to learn, and it takes some time to get used to, but it's not too difficult to learn. And especially for more experienced Junkrats, there won't really be a change in playstyle since you're probably already used to barrel stuffing all of the time. You should still be able to get away with throwing concussion mine into groups of enemies, just now instead of focusing on doing damage, try and throw your mine in such a way that all of the enemies get pushed in different directions, or that you do max damage to an important target, be that a healer or low health enemy. Being able to push your enemy tanks away from their team to create openings for your team to push in and burst down the enemy is a great thing to have, so the focus just won't be on doing damage as much as it would be knocking people around with concussion mine. Lastly, you really want to use the trap and concussion mine combo, since that will still remain as reliable as pre-nerf, so it'll be a very useful combo to utilize. Just remember that you have to have the concussion mine as close to the trap target as possible, so no more putting trap on the opposite side of the concussion as that has a chance to not do enough damage. Junkrat will still be a very meta hero. He's just going to have to rely even more on the RNG skill aspect of his kit. The tips I gave for Junkrat don't seem like huge things, but after playing with it in the PTR, his new concussion mine definitely isn't as reliable anymore, so securing kills will be more difficult, similar to how Junkrat was before he learned how to hold 2 mines. So what do you guys think about the nerfs? Do you like this direction Blizzard is taking, or do you think that Blizzard needs to tone it down a bit? Personally, I really like the direction Blizzard is taking with Mercy. I think that the nerfs are a bit too heavy, but I personally agree with Blizzard that all res buffs should be removed from Valkyrie, and that she shouldn't be dependent on her ultimate for resurrections. In context of Junkrat, I do think that the nerfs won't be enough to remove him from the top tier of the meta, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Personally, and I think many would agree with me, that Junkrat relies too much on the RNG aspect of his kit and not so much the skill aspect of his kit, so these nerfs will move him towards that direction. I do think that Junkrat will need some nerfs to his Riptire because that ult is still a little too powerful, perhaps just increase the noise levels a bit and maybe make the hitbox slightly larger. But overall, I'm really happy with these nerfs because I do think it puts these heroes back into the place that they should be. They're currently very S tier heroes, and I do believe that they should be in the lower tiers of heroes. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. And as you guys might have noticed, we're bringing the channel back. Blizzard Guides is now operating back in business, and we've got a bunch of really good content lined up. The team here is going to be making a bunch of great stuff for you guys, and I hope you guys will enjoy what we have to bring to the table. If you have any questions, comments, or video topics that you'd like to see us cover, just let us know in the comments down below, and I'll hopefully get to do a Q&A at the end of every video and see what you guys have to say. Just remember to keep it constructive, and I really want to work on making a really good community for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Have a good day. My name is Nathan, and this was Blizzard Guides. And also, as you guys might have noticed, we're bringing Blizzard... Oh, every time. And also, as you guys might have noticed, we're bringing Blizzard back. Okay, I give up.